Hey everybody. So something that came out today, the Forged in Eternum Q&A. There's a lot of videos out there on this, and I think there's a few misconceptions and a few things that were missed that I really wanted to talk about, because the passive weapon exploit was a huge problem with the server, and apparently it's not fixed. If you look at the patch notes for the patch that's coming out tonight, they are readdressing it and refixing it. I don't know what the current issue is, other than they fixed it, I tested it, and it worked, but apparently someone has already found a workaround for it. So they are repatching it tonight to fix that. But a real key point that I saw in the Forged in Eternum Q&A happens at 8 minutes and 42 seconds into the video. And that's when the game director, Scott Lane, says this: we made a few mistakes and an exploit got stuck in that only really affected the musket. Now, the passive weapon swap affected everything. So he has to be referring to another exploit that we don't know about. And this makes a lot of sense, because even when people were swapping their weapons, myself and several other people that are wearing full thrust gems were still getting hit for 10 to 11,000 damage in single shots. I don't know why he said this, but it seems like they're fixing exploits that we don't know about, which is a good thing, but at the same time it helps validate the fact that yes, there was a major problem with musket, it wasn't doing what it was supposed to, people were exploiting it like crazy, and that's why some people playing musket were still hitting way too hard as of last week. So I just wanted to bring that up. They also say that the musket will be getting a massive nerf. Drastic measures is the word they use. And when they talk about this, they're saying, they're going to look at the accuracy. And I'm suspecting this means that you're going to have the crosshairs that start wide when you're moving, and as you get stationary, they slowly come into a point, and your bullet's going to fire, and it will go somewhere within the realm of that crosshair, right? So if you're moving and it's full wide, you're going to take a shot, and it might go right in the middle, it might go out to the sides, you don't know. I think this is a good change. It's a smart change. It's not one that I had thought about previously. I would really like to see musket become a projectile weapon. But if they're going to do it this way, at least it'll have an impact on people who are trying to, who are chasing muskets, and they just turn around and three-shot you because it's pinpoint accuracy. But unfortunately, it's not going to have an impact on things like when people are using shooter stance. So it's not going to be a huge nerf. The other big one is mortal empowerment. They said flat out that's getting nerfed. So all your mortal empowerment rings might be time to start switching over to invigorated punishment, like the run in wars. OPR is finally getting color-coded spells, thank God. So you'll now know whose sacred grounds are whose ice is whose. I can't believe that this took so long, but it's going live on the PTR. The other big thing they talk about is the armor changes. So they said that they want light armor to be more of a risk. And the way that they're going to do this is they're going to take things like Shirking Fort and Resilient and make them less effective on light armor than they are on heavy. And since they do things like light armor gets a 20% damage buff, my guess is that they do a 20% nerf to Resilient, Shirking Fort, things like that, to start on the PTR, and then they take it from there. And I've heard a lot of people saying, like, oh, ripped my, Shirking Fort Resilient armor set, it's going to be worthless now. It's not. What else are you going to run? You're going to run Empowering Breaker? Like, these are the good perks for a reason. Okay, let's say they nerf it down to 3% Resilient. Are you going to give up 15% extra Resilient damage to use Invigorated? To use Invulnerable? No, of course you're not. You're still going to use Resilient. So your BIS pieces are still going to be your BIS pieces, even if the effect of what they're doing has been nerfed. Other than that, there's a lot of garbage in this Q&A. The question on hippos, like, I'm sure they thought it was funny. It just pissed me off. Probably pissed a lot of other people off. Because it's like, I don't need to know this garbage. I need to know what you're doing to fix the freaking game. They did say they're going to do some interesting things with PvP. They're going to put Banes on ranged weapons. They're going to be stronger. So instead of being a 15% buff, it's going to be like a 25% buff on ranged weapons to try to get you to use a ranged weapon in a dungeon. And they're going to get rid of the fire and ice resists and mutations so that, you know, you can use your fire staff or ice gauntlet if you want to. This will also be good because now you can use your weapons that have attunement on them, and it's like having another Bane if it's the right week. Other than that, they said in about a month they're going to do a big roadmap update with PvP changes. So we're going to find out more about what they're going to do for PvP. Hopefully, it's adding modes like Capture the Flag, new maps to OPR, you know, very easy changes that can be done to just make the current game more fun. And then the only other major thing was they said they want to make the corruption breaches more of a world event. They're going to have less of them out there, and when you beat them, there's going to be better rewards. It's probably still going to be trash, and no one's going to want to do it. So let me know what you think about this new concept of light armor being weaker. I think it's a good move. I think it'll hopefully get people off of the light meta and more into other places. Unfortunately, I think heavy sword shield hammer is just going to become more powerful and be more unstoppable. It's already ruining arenas, and I don't see how that gets any better with these changes. But if you like these videos, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know it annoys the hell out of me when people say this in videos. I understand why now that I'm making videos. So just click those buttons for me. I don't put out a lot of content. You're not going to get spammed. Help me out. Thanks, guys.